The camera opens with a sweeping aerial view of a massive crowd gathered around a futuristic dome-shaped building. The energy in the air is electric, people holding banners, journalists rushing around, and security drones hovering overhead. The world's attention is locked onto one historic event, the unveiling of Maxwell Motors' self-charging car. Reporters murmur with excitement, flashes from cameras fill the scene, and the red carpet stretches out toward a sleek metallic platform shimmering under the morning sun. And then, the presidential convoy arrives. Black cars glide in, the flags waving, and out steps the president, smiling, shaking hands with Maxwell CO, the visionary engineer who has promised to change the world forever. As the president walks toward the stage, the audience falls silent. The press leans forward, microphones ready. The CEO welcomes the crowd and begins speaking about the journey. How humanity has long dreamed of a car that never needs to stop for fuel, never plugs into a charger, and runs endlessly on its own power. Years of research, countless failures, and breakthroughs in quantum battery design and electromagnetic resonance have finally led to this moment. The self-charging car, named Eterna, stands beneath a silk cover, waiting to be revealed. Cameras zoom in, capturing the suspense. The president looks intrigued, almost like a curious child about to unwrap the future. Then, with a dramatic pull, the CEO unveils the car.
A wave of awe spread through the crowd.
The Eterna gleams like liquid silver, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the sky like a mirror. It's unlike any vehicle ever seen, no fuel cap, no charging port, and no visible engine. The design is aerodynamic perfection, blending art and science. The president steps closer, his reflection dancing on the car's surface. The CEO explains that Eterna is powered by a closed-loop energy cycle, a combination of magnetic induction and kinetic recovery that captures energy from motion, temperature, and even the ambient electromagnetic fields around it. In simple words, the car never runs out of energy because it continuously recharges itself as it moves, a perpetual energy system made real. The crowd gasps. Reporters shout questions. The president smiles and asks the question everyone is thinking, so it never needs to stop? The CEO nods. That's right. It's the first vehicle in history that can run endlessly without fuel, without plugging in, and with zero emissions. The president laughs softly, clearly impressed. Well, he says, I think I just saw the future. The audience erupts into applause. The demonstration begins. The car's doors slide open seamlessly. The interior is minimalist, glowing with ambient light, holographic controls, and a transparent dashboard that projects real-time data. The president is invited to sit in the driver's seat. Cameras flash as he steps inside. The door closes silently, and with a soft hum, the car powers up. The president places his hand on the steering wheel, and the car recognizes his biometric signature, greeting him with a gentle voice. Welcome, Mr. President. Destination, the future. The crowd laughs, and he smiles back saying, let's see what you can do. The car glides forward, effortlessly, making no sound except the faint whisper of air. The CEO explains through a live feed that the Eterna's propulsion system is based on ultra-efficient magnetic levitation, reducing friction to near zero. The vehicle harnesses every ounce of kinetic energy, recycles it, and feeds it back into its quantum capacitor. Even when stationary, the car gathers ambient energy through nanoscale solar absorption and electromagnetic harvesting. It's not just a car, it's a living machine, a self-sustaining ecosystem on wheels. As the president drives, the screen shows real-time data, energy harvested, range infinite, emissions zero. The audience watches in disbelief. This isn't science fiction, it's happening before their eyes. Reporters broadcast live across the globe. Social media explodes. Hashtag Eterna, hashtag Future is now, hashtag Maxwell Miracle start trending within minutes. People everywhere realize what this means. No gas stations, no charging lines, no pollution. A future where mobility is free, clean, and endless. After a short demonstration ride, the car returns to the stage. The president steps out, visibly moved. He turns to the audience and says, "Today, we are witnessing the birth of a new era. This car is not just a machine, it's a promise that innovation can solve the greatest challenges of our time." The applause is thunderous. The CEO joins him, and they shake hands again. Together, they speak about the implications. If every car were like Eterna, global emissions could drop by 80%. Energy independence would become a reality. Cities could be redesigned around clean, limitless mobility. The president speaks candidly, acknowledging that such technology will face skepticism, regulation, and adaptation. But he emphasizes that leadership means embracing the future, not fearing it. He promises to support initiatives that promote sustainable innovation and invites Maxwell Motors to collaborate with government agencies to bring this technology to the masses. The CEO responds with gratitude, saying this is only the beginning. Eterna is a symbol of what's possible when humanity dares to imagine beyond limits. Behind the scenes, scientists and engineers explain more details for the press. The car's quantum battery operates using a layered graphene structure that captures and stores subatomic energy fluctuations, a concept once thought impossible. Combined with microresonators that tune into Earth's natural magnetic fields, the system creates a continuous energy feedback loop. Every motion, vibration, and ray of light contributes to its charge. Maintenance is minimal, with predictive AI that monitors every component and repairs minor wear autonomously using nanobots. Reporters ask about cost, production, and accessibility. The CEO explains that initial models will be premium, but mass production is planned within 5 years. Partnerships with governments and private investors aim to make Eterna affordable to all. The vision is clear, a world where no one worries about fuel prices or electricity bills, where transportation becomes a human right, not a privilege. The president tours the facility next, observing the assembly line where robotic arms construct components with microscopic precision. He speaks with engineers who express pride in contributing to a once-in-a-generation breakthrough. The air buzzes with optimism. Outside, crowds chant slogans of hope, waving banners that read, "The future is here, and goodbye gas forever." It feels like the dawn of a new industrial revolution, one driven not by oil, but by pure, sustainable energy. Later that day, a press conference is held. Journalists from every major network gather, eager for more. Questions range from safety to scalability. The CEO assures that the car is built with advanced AI safety systems, real-time hazard detection, and adaptive self-repair mechanisms. The president answers questions too, emphasizing that the government will ensure ethical rollout, job retraining for industries that may be disrupted, and new opportunities in green technology sectors. As the sun sets, the event concludes with a symbolic gesture. The president and CEO place their hands together on a glowing orb, representing the fusion of vision and leadership. The orb lights up, and behind them, a holographic display projects the words, "Welcome to the Infinite Drive." The crowd roars, fireworks burst above, and the Eterna drives itself across the stage, illuminated in golden light, as if declaring independence from every limitation that held humanity back.
News encore la técolite, the date of infinite energy.
Analysts debate how this invention will reshape geopolitics, eliminate oil dependency, and spark a renaissance in transportation. Economists predict massive shifts in global markets. Environmentalists celebrate a potential end to carbon emissions. Students around the world feel inspired to study science and engineering. It becomes more than a product, it becomes a movement. In the following weeks, documentaries explore Maxwell's journey, the science behind the breakthrough, and the philosophy that drove it, that nature itself is abundant, and with the right understanding, humanity can live in harmony with its energy. The president mentions the event in a national address, calling it a milestone equal to the moon landing. This car, he says, represents the courage to believe in tomorrow. Meanwhile, pre-orders flood in. Investors rush to support the technology. Competing automakers scramble to respond. The public dreams of a future where roads hum with self-sustaining vehicles, cities breathe clean air, and travel knows no bounds. And through it all, one image remains etched in history. The moment when the president touched the wheel of Eterna, smiled, and declared, "I see the future." Years later, children will learn about this day in school. They'll watch the footage of that unveiling and realize that it was more than an invention, it was a turning point in civilization. Because on that stage, humanity proved that with imagination, science, and courage, even the impossible can become real. And as the lights dim on the event, the final shot lingers on the Eterna, silently glowing under the stars, ready to carry the world into a future without limits. As the crowd disperses and the echoes of applause fade into the night, the world begins to process what it has just witnessed. News anchors on every major channel replay the unveiling, analyzing each moment. The president's words, the car's design, the promise of endless motion. Talk shows invite experts to discuss how a self-charging car could transform everything from personal travel to international relations. Oil markets tremble, energy companies hold emergency meetings, and environmental organizations rejoice with cautious optimism. It's as though a new chapter in human history has just been written before their eyes. The next morning, the world awakens to a new reality. Headlines everywhere read, Maxwell breaks the energy barrier, President drives the future, and endless energy, dream or destiny? People gather in cafes, workplaces, and classrooms, talking about the Eterna. In small towns and big cities alike, one question dominates every conversation. Is this real? Can a car truly power itself forever? And as videos of the demonstration go viral, skepticism slowly gives way to awe. Engineers upload breakdowns of the technology, educators design lesson plans around its principles, and young inventors sketch their own visions inspired by the concept. A spark has been lit, one that spreads across borders, across minds. Inside Maxwell's headquarters, the atmosphere is electric. The team that spent years building this dream can hardly believe how fast the world has embraced it. Phones ring non-stop with inquiries from governments, automakers, and venture funds.
Interview pour In.
The CEO gathers the team in the central atrium, a wide glass-paneled space filled with models of past prototypes, and tells them, we didn't just build a car. We built a bridge to the future. The engineers cheer, tears in some of their eyes, knowing their work has just changed the world. Meanwhile, in the capital, the president meets with advisors and scientists to discuss the implications. If Eterna's technology can scale, the nation could lead a global transformation, from fossil fuel dependence to a new era of infinite energy mobility. But such a shift will not come without challenges. Infrastructure, regulations, manufacturing, and economics must all evolve. The president orders the creation of a national task force, Project Eterna, to study and accelerate the safe integration of this breakthrough. In a private moment, the president reflects quietly. Every generation dreams of leaving a legacy, and perhaps this is his, the moment he helped humanity turn the page. As weeks pass, the first limited test fleet of Eterna vehicles is deployed. Scientists and journalists are invited to observe. The cars glide silently through city streets and mountain roads alike, their energy readings stable, their performance flawless. People watch in fascination as the dashboard display continuously shows energy reserve, 100%.
No gas, no plug, no stop.
The cars return to the garage after hours of driving, their systems cool, their batteries full, their design untouched. The data confirms what Maxwell promised. The closed-loop energy system truly works. In schools, children are inspired. Science teachers explain the principles of energy harvesting, quantum storage, and magnetic resonance with newfound excitement. Students build mini-models powered by magnets and motion, imagining themselves as the next generation of innovators. Documentaries begin production, telling the story of how one company dared to break the rules of energy and physics. Philosophers and futurists write essays about what this means for human civilization, a step toward freeing ourselves from scarcity, moving into a world where energy is as abundant as air. But not everyone celebrates. Behind closed doors, powerful oil magnates and energy lobbyists meet to discuss the threat. Decades of dominance are at risk. Some call for regulation, others for sabotage, but the tide is too strong. Public opinion is overwhelmingly in favor of progress. Citizens march with signs reading "Clean Energy Forever" and "No More Limits." Politicians across the world begin to shift their rhetoric, embracing the language of innovation and sustainability. The world's balance of power begins to shift, not through war, but through invention. One evening, Maxwell hosts a global live stream titled "The Next Horizon." Millions tune in. The CEO appears, calm yet passionate, standing beside the gleaming Eterna prototype. He explains that while the car is a triumph, it is only the beginning. The same self-charging principles could power homes, ships, even spacecraft. Imagine a world where every object, from your phone to your city, sustains itself, drawing from the natural flows of energy all around us. This, he says, is not about technology alone. It's about freedom.
The freedom to move, to live, to dream without limit.
The audience, spread across continents, feels united in a shared sense of destiny. Meanwhile, the president prepares a special address to the nation. The Oval Office glows softly as cameras roll. He looks into the lens, his tone steady yet filled with wonder. "When I placed my hand on that wheel," he says, "I felt something more than metal and energy. I felt the heartbeat of progress, the same heartbeat that carried us to the moon, built our cities, and connected our world." Today, we embrace a future that is clean, boundless, and driven by imagination. His words echo through homes around the country, inspiring millions to believe that change is not only possible, it's already here. Months later, the first public Eterna model rolls off the production line. Crowds gather as the first owner receives the keys, tears of joy streaming down her face as she realizes she will never again need to buy fuel. Her children climb in, eyes wide with wonder. The car hums to life, ready to journey endlessly. In cities, charging stations are repurposed into parks and green spaces. Highways fill with silent, gliding vehicles that leave no smoke, no waste. The air grows cleaner, the skies clearer. It feels as if the planet itself is breathing a sigh of relief. As years pass, historians will look back at the day the president unveiled Maxwell's self-charging car as the moment humanity took its first step toward energy liberation. Economies adapt, industries evolve, and people rediscover what it means to live in harmony with innovation. The car becomes more than a machine. It becomes a symbol of hope, proof that human creativity can overcome even the hardest barriers. And somewhere in a quiet lab, Maxwell's engineers continue to work, driven by a single belief: the future is not waiting, it's already moving, endlessly, self-charging, unstoppable. And as the story of the Eterna spreads across generations, one truth endures: that when vision meets courage, the impossible becomes inevitable. The world changed the day the president saw the future, and the future, gleaming like polished silver, looked back and said, "I'm ready." And so, as the lights dim on this extraordinary chapter of human innovation, one truth remains crystal clear. The unveiling of Maxwell's self-charging car was not just the launch of a machine, but the ignition of a revolution. A revolution that reminded the world that progress isn't found in comfort or caution, but in the courage to chase the impossible. The president's words echo through history, symbolizing a generation that refused to settle for limits, that dared to believe energy could be infinite, clean, and free. From that moment on, humanity stepped into a new era, an era where roads no longer led to gas stations, but to boundless horizons, where innovation worked in harmony with nature, and where every turn of a wheel whispered a promise that the future belongs to those who build it. The Eterna became more than technology. It became a testament to human potential, a living example that tomorrow's miracles begin with today's imagination.
Watch full video.